We'll get underway shortly here. Goodness, something that's really interesting to me is that these guys being control players, you know, Zoo is just so strong in the Warlock slot, and the Reno build's lost so much. I mean, is this really what Innate wants to be playing in this tournament, or do you still feel like this is going to be Zoo?
I mean, I'd have to lean towards Reno because, I mean, when it's your first tournament and you know, you're self-proclaimed, you really like control decks. Like, I mean, I feel like you could easily bring a different deck.
Yeah, it's going to be Paladin versus Paladin in our first matchup, and you saw Forbidden Healing mulligan away, joins the hand again.
Yep.
And Polluted Hoarder.
Yeah, and his counterpart, Loot Hoarder, on the other side of things. These are card choices we haven't seen too much. They're going to get revived by N'Zoth. Maybe not the craziest thing ever, and I mean, I gotta feel like this matchup is very interesting. It's just, N'Zoth is obviously just a powerhouse if you get to it, but you're also going to want to set up a board state that can't be a quality consecrated away when you do N'Zoth. And with these guys having so many death rattles in their deck, while they're always going to get a big N'Zoth, it might not be the most quality N'Zoth. You're not going to be able to always guarantee you get the really good death rattles like Karen, like Sylvanas, like Tyrion, unless you just start to hold back death rattles after you play 6 of them.
Yeah. So, will be relatively slow starts for both players. I expect a lot of hero powers to be used here on Innate's side. Duane, meanwhile, Loot Hoarder, Harvest Golem isn't going to play Loot Hoarder, though. So valuing actually the power on that body more than the card draw at the moment. We'll see how that pans out for him. Harvest Golem, I expect to come down on turn 3. Looking pretty good.
In the Dude Fest.
Yep. And Infested Tauren and a Polluted Hoarder both available for Innate.
Infested Tauren would protect that 1/1.
Yeah, honestly, in kind of the slower matchups, this Infested Tauren feels like a bit of a nuisance.
It's definitely, when you're fighting with such low power minions and your hero power is creating 1/1s, even though it's a small body, it's going to eat up 1/1s a lot.
True Silver Champion going to contest this, and that's a Harrison Jones on Innate's side. You can see him nodding his head. I mean, this is looking like a great turn for him. Yep, Harrison Jones. That True Silver belongs in a museum.
Yep.
Death's Bite has been put in the museum as well.
Here's a tech. I was actually talking to Firebat about this. He was saying that Edric the Pure has gotten quite a bit better now that the game's slowed down. I mean, you think of this card against Zoo if they make that Sea Giant board and you just reduce everything to 1.
You know, something else really interesting to think about is in the N'Zoth matchup, Edric the Pure looks pretty darn good versus that.
Yeah.
This is the kind of the turn that looked like Duane was saving this Loot Hoarder for, was just to get a stronger presence on board. Didn't want it to just get contested by a 1/1.
Yeah.
So it looking a little bit better for him at the moment. Tough turn for Innate. I mean, nothing looks really strong. Polluted Hoarder is contested. Harrison Jones is contested. You don't have any way to make headway here. I mean, these are going to be the slow, grindy turns.
Yep.
That are going to dictate the pace of this game.
And this matchup, you got to believe, is going to be all about value. There is going to be kind of some explosive turns when we get to N'Zoth and how players look to clear that up, but for now, you just got to go face.
So 1/1 not protected here. I imagine Duane's got some bigger targets in his sights with these guys. Maybe the damage feels like it's pretty inconsequential for the most part. So maybe eyeing down that 1/1. Does have another Loot Hoarder in hand as well as the hero power coming up. Just try to extend your board position and put Innate in awkward spots.
Let me think.
Yeah, you look at Innate's hand, it's a lot of answers. Ragnaros Lightlord, probably the most proactive card he has.
Really considering this Aldor Peacekeeper right here. He's going to favor the hero power though, wants to keep his options as open as possible. Consecration does not look very good right now.
Yeah. Wild Pyromancer probably would end up being a bit better of a board clear if he were in the business of caring about taking 2 damage.
As you can see, the fight for the 1/1s is a real thing.
And you just got to dude up.
Man, what's 4 damage? I'll attack my 4/2 into your 1/1.
It really isn't anything when you have a card in your deck that reads heal 20. Like, this is going to be a long fight.
Twilight Summoner. And
Yeah.
this is the kind of matchup where this card shines.
We're going to get into like a Murloc Paladin situation where it's kind of RNG what Death Rattles are going to get. I mean, Duane's played 4 Death Rattles, and he's drawn, you know, he has 2 more in his hand. He's going to have more than 6 Death Rattle minions in the graveyard when he plays N'Zoth.
Unless he foregoes playing them.
Which probably won't happen.
Yeah, I can imagine at some point Sylvanas is going to be held to try to contest Tyrion.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way to kill your own Sylvanas. No shield slam or anything.
Well, you can Wild Pyromancer Equality.
Yeah, but that would also kill your opponent's things. So
Well, except for the Tyrion. Tyrion will be a 6/1.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You steal that 6.
I've done that one before.
Okay, fair enough.
Innate's going to go ahead and play Sylvanas here. Looking like a pretty good, strong minion on this board. You know, anytime you're threatening to steal something significant, that is a big deal. Corrupted Healbot joins the
So
hand
many
for
Death
Duane.
Rattles in these stacks.
I know, this is kind of interesting almost. Yeah, I suppose one of the last things you would want is to have N'Zoth and not really have any Death Rattles to fetch back.
Yeah, but also there's kind of the school of thought that you don't really need 6 to win the game. You just need a couple
Yeah.
really good ones, and you will win. So I think the build we've been seeing has those heal bots. It has the Sylvanas, Karin, and Tyrion, obviously, and then usually it has maybe one more, maybe the Tauren, maybe a Loot Hoarder, or a Corrupted Hoarder, or Polluted Hoarder rather, that we saw this game.
Just going to hero power and continue
Yeah.
the wild board pass. I mean,
Just gonna leave Sylvanas out, take whatever it wants.
honestly,
Can't take anything that good.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at too. Is just not really any very strong targets.
Well, he can take like a 5/4 if he were to make a Wild Pyromancer play. But really, then how happy are you replacing your Sylvanas with just a vanilla 5/4?
Yeah, I think the bigger difference here is Sylvanas has been forcing a little bit of action, and we'll hit the grave for N'Zoth later on.
Let me think.
Still plenty of options though for Innate.
Yeah, kind of getting into Freeze Mage territory where it's 10 cards, which one's the least bad?
Yeah, I like the Consecrate here. Keeps 5 power on board, and not really easily dealt with. I mean, Duane lost a Juice Over champion earlier to Harrison
Yeah.
Jones, so this 5/3 looking like it's pretty liable to stick to the board.
There is a Doomsayer, so
And
there's no way to immediately give it to your opponent with Sylvanas. You can't really cast Lay on Hands.
that's something I'm curious about too, is how many cards drawn in this matchup could be too many cards.
I mean, and especially when you're risking summoning more Loot Hoarders with N'Zoth.
This is an interesting matchup. And
I'm
as
not
much
sure
as I
we'll get to
expect,
Fatigue, but
yeah, I mean, I expected this to be a very interesting matchup, but
Yeah.
kind of watching it pan out now, like
I
this
have no
is
time for
very
games.
unique situations that these players are getting into.
he's gonna play Sylvanas and his own Doomsayer. Or his own Sylvanas and a Doomsayer, rather.
If Innate's feeling really brave, he's got a 33% chance to end the game this turn.
To end the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just Rag.
Oh my gosh. Oh, he's gonna go for it. I love this play.
Well, this is an interesting game, but it could just be over.
Innate has a 1/3 chance to win the game this turn. And he nails it!
Praise Ragnaros!
Is that a Maz? Oh my gosh! I mean, I expected this to like potentially go to Fatigue here, and Innate just,
Yeah, idiot.
let's go!
This is an aggro deck.
Wow, I mean, what? What a shot. I mean, you know, I looked at that and was like, funny. That's a good play.
It kind of was. I mean, 33% of the time you hit the Doomsayer, and they usually take the, then it gets kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because the Sylvanas could take your 1/1, it could take the Rag. That's the bad situation. If it hits the Sylv, they steal something, doesn't matter, their Doomsayer goes off. If you lost a Rag, but the opportunity cost was you got a 33% chance to win the game.
I like it.
I like it too. And those are the risks you take, and sometimes you get rewarded.
And something else that's really interesting here is I'm curious if this being Duane's first tournament, he's just more willing to take those kinds of risks.
Yeah, well.
To go, well, it's my first tournament. I made top 8.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see if I can just win.
I mean,
worked out wonderfully.
Also, you do have to
Game number
consider where your place is in that match. I mean, we were expecting that to go longer, but you kind of have to think, okay, is my build really built for the mirror? Am I in a good spot to win this, or should I just go for it now? And it wasn't a 33% chance to win, 67 to lose. It was more 33 to win instantly. If you don't, you can play it out.
Yeah.
Still win some of the time.
And that's a big part of it too, is if he loses that Rag shot, there's still plenty of play left in the game. I mean, he's the one with the healthy life total in that situation, where Duane was actually a little bit lower than that. So good spot for him in game number 1. We want to thank the sponsors for helping making this event possible. MSi, here of course at the EGLX Hearthstone Major. A big thanks to them for making this game possible. If you want to stay engaged in the conversation about the tournament that's been going on, maybe share some of your thoughts or even some of your favorite deck lists that you've seen so far, you can feel free to tweet at MSi Tweets using the hashtag EGLX. Or you can tweet at myself at That's Admirable or at Chalky_HS. We'll be following your thoughts throughout the day. Did play one of the decks I saw on Twitter last night.
Which deck was that?
That was the Druid N'Zoth build, which did not work out very well for me. But it was a fun game to play. So thank you for that one. But yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of shocked that Paladin just like.
Yeah, why is that game over? And here I was like keeping track of the death rattles, like we were getting ready to go real long, and nah, why not?
Let's get this over with. Perfect play. Honestly, it really is. It's such a good spot.
Sometimes you're just playing Hearthstone turns, but you may have stuff to do stuff later. You gotta get this over with, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's at EGLX. Wants to check out some of the cool exhibits here. So game number 2 will get underway as soon as these players are done choosing a deck. I mean, are you a little bit rattled if you're in Duane's spot after that? Because I'm guaranteeing he expected this game to go long.
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really favoring his position anyway, in my opinion. I mean, he had some of the weaker death rattles. Like, there's a chance that you get to your N'Zoth and it just summons Loot Hoarder, Harvest Golem. Like, just mediocre stuff.
Yeah, is going to be what looks like a handlocked
Handlock
build.
or Reno.
Yeah.
It could be.
Reno's still definitely on the menu here. We'll see if there's any duplicates in this hand. That's a Cthulhu.
There is sort of this Cthulhu Reno build, and it uses Doomcaller. And Doomcaller is not a card that a lot of people probably know what it does. It's an 8-mana 7/9, not great stats, but it shuffles your Cthulhu back into your deck if it dies.
Yeah.
That's a very unique effect in Hearthstone. Like the
and
first
it gives it +2/+2.
Yeah. So not only do you get your 20/20 Cthulhu, you get a 22/22 Cthulhu right after.
For all those times you need 42 damage.
I lost on stream playing 2 Cthulhu's one game. I just couldn't kill a warrior. He just had that much health.
After 60 points of Cthulhu, he's like, tank up! He's at 12 armor, and you're like, gosh, that's when you got to shake your fist harder at him.
Well, I mean, seeing all these kind of weirder cards, I would expect this to be a Reno build.
Yeah.
Like seeing Psychotron and Twisting Nether.
There's that Twin Emperor. We actually haven't seen a Cthulhu deck on stream all weekend.
We haven't seen Cthulhu.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first Cthulhu we've seen.
Praise Cthulhu.
This is going to take Corruption, has that Mountain Giant lined up for next turn.
Oh my god, this is an old god matchup.
You're right, it's N'Zoth versus Cthulhu. What if N'Zoth gets unseated here?
Oh my god. Well, yeah, we're tracking the unofficial Old God Championship. Right now, N'Zoth is the only Old God to end the game. So he currently holds the title, but Cthulhu could take it away in this game.
Just Just gonna go ahead and play the Doomsayer here.
You know how upset I'm gonna be if the game just ends like Mountain Giant just solos him. He just like hand locks him down, doesn't need Cthulhu at all.
This is a rough looking turn here for Innate. I mean, do you just throw a card away so you can keep life tapping? He's gonna throw 2 cards away, it looks like.
Wait. A little bit of a mistake there. Missing 2 damage to face. I don't see any reason for that. But I do like the fact that he threw it away. I mean, I'm not sure Corruption is going to find a great spot this game, but there's a chance.
It's looking all right here. It forces the trade.
Yeah.
And there's that Reno, so we do know that there's likely only 1 copy of each card. Now that being said, it doesn't have a yellow border at the moment.
Did it not?
It did not. I don't
Are you
think
sure?
it did. He might not.
I think it was because it wasn't playable.
Yeah, that's the thing. It might be because it didn't have the mana to play it.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay.
That's why.
We'll get a glimpse next turn.
Yeah.
What's going on? Corruption on the Corrupted Healbot, though. Looking good. That's some great value. Divine Shield and Corruption for...
It's basically deciding, Disciple of
Healbot?
Cthulhu was not the greatest card in his hand, and also gets the buff still.
Yeah.
And that's the important part.
I mean, once Cthulhu hits that 10/10, Twin Emperor's activated.
Oh yeah, and that's a card that people were looking at as more so than just Cthulhu. That card's insane.
Making 2 4/6 taunts is no joke.
I think it'd be good if they weren't taunts.
Yeah, so Reno is active. Get a glimpse of there.
Yeah.
So no duplicates in this build, I don't believe.
Be pretty ballsy to have some duplicates in your Reno Warlock deck.
I've done it.
Yeah, it was pretty doable back in the Void Caller days.
Pretty strong looking board today. I mean, no Humility, no Aldor Peacekeeper, no Equality. I think this Doomsayer's
gonna
connecting.
solo him.
If he had 1 more Cthulhu buff, he would have had Mountain Giant and a Twin Emperor.
Oh God. Kind of glad he doesn't, just so the game's closer. That'd just be disgusting, man. That is kind of the weakness of Cthulhu Reno. It takes a long time to get those Cthulhu buffs rolling. You only have 1 copy of each buff card.
It's 4 points pointed to face.
Yeah. And I mean, I doubt he's thrilled to throw it face an Acidic Swamp Ooze. I mean, I'm willing to throw that bad boy down.
Does contest the Acolyte. Looking like life tap.
Yeah.
Thinking life tap, potentially Earthen Ring and the Ooze. If you're gonna play the Earthen Ring, I actually think there's some justification for trading into the front half of Canada here as well.
Well, I doubt there's a greater way for okay.
Oh! That will leave the True Silver up though.
Yeah, I kind of like the other play better. You want to save the silence for Tyrion anyway, so yeah.
He's gonna ooze that True Silver away.
This is much better.
Solid looking board presence here for Innate. Not only that, but that life tap card advantage, man, that you get over the course of the game, that is looming.
Edric would be really good here. I think Innate was onto something with that, but this is pretty solid as well. Gonna give him the. I feel like the more important thing is not only just the clear here, but the extra card from that Acolyte is huge.
Aldor Peacekeeper, 2 mana off of that one as well. The trade here is lined up for Bane, of course. Pretty easy trade for him. It's Token or Acidic Swamp Ooze. Now, maybe holding on to the Ooze for Draxus, but also just to get a little bit of extra value.
Yeah,
Play for the long term.
He sort of knows it's a Cthulhu deck.
Oh, he knows it's a Cthulhu deck.
Yeah.
He's seen a Disciple
He
of
saw
Cthulhu.
Disciples of Cthulhu, right. And that's probably unlikely to run Draxus. But also you just want to get the value out of your hero power. Huh.
That one's not too shabby.
Yeah, pretty interesting to see that included, and that's going to enable the Twin Emperors now.
That guy's not a joke right here. That's just kind of like a mountain giant. Just a big 7/6.
Got him.
I mean, do you Aldor Peacekeeper this?
Boulder Fistogre's estranged brother. Got lost.
It got nerfed. It can get big game 100. Yeah, like the Aldor. Gets an extra card draw here from the Acolyte.
Yep.
Needs to keep fighting for that card economy too. I mean, against that looming presence of the life tap, you've got to get something going.
Saves his Wild Pyromancer.
Just make another dude. Life total for Innate getting a little bit dangerous here as well.
And how bad is just, you don't have to Twisting Nether, but it would deny a card. Otherwise, you know, he does have Shadow Flame to clear anytime he wants.
Looking like it's going to be Refreshment Vendor and Crazed Worshipper.
Get those chicken legs.
Yeah. Crazed Worshipper is actually a card that has been surprisingly good in the times I've played it. Like, I've played a lot of Cthulhu so far and haven't had a ton of success, but this card has always felt like a critical one to winning games.
You like yourself some Fen Creeper?
It's not that bad, honestly. I mean, it works towards your overall goal. You got to get that Cthulhu buffed.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time it is going to buff it +2/+2. That's usually where you want to be as far as your Cthulhu buffing cards.
The card is also like, it's just a 3/6, so your opponent like never uses anything. They just always attack into it. You're like, oh, sweet. You fireballed this, I was in trouble. Then they fireball a 3/6, you feel great about it too. You're like, just trying to Crazed Worshiper for a fireball. Considering the weapon here, he's going to use his minion. Draw another card. 3 draws off the Acolyte. And more available through Solemn Vigil.
Lots of death rattles coming down this game now.
And Corrupted Healbot joins.
That's the second one.
And the big threat of the Corrupted Healbot is mostly just the fact that it's a 6/6 body. It fights on the board.
Yeah, maybe you're at the point where you have to save Twisting Nether for the N'Zoth. It's either that or it's try to end the game before N'Zoth. Like you said, his life total's not in a spot where he can just not care.
Siphon Soul will heal him to 28 here on that Corrupted Healbot though, so.
Yeah.
You know, happy to see it now, but again, it's like that, it's that loan. I mean, sure, you got your life now, but when that N'Zoth hits, you got to fight 2 of those
Corrupted
guys.
Healbot's coming back.
Yeah.
Hopefully. He does run a lot of death rattles.
Well, Duane's going to play this Tyrion,
Put your faith in the light.
which will be met by that Spellbreaker. He's been holding on to that one almost specifically for this reason.
Yeah, now that doesn't mean Tyrion won't be coming back.
N'Zoth is getting really scary.
One true God.
Up at 22, feels safe this turn.
Yeah,
Your magic shall not stay.
gotta get down some strong minions to contest.
Needs to get some Cthulhu buffs going too. I mean, we've only seen 2
The
so
12,
far, yeah, or 3 so far, yeah, because of that Crazed Worshipper.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, the Reno Cthulhu deck, the Cthulhu's only really game ending if you go through your entire deck, and then it gets around 20/20, and you can recycle it. But you only really do that against like Priest, Warrior, really slow stuff. This is a slow deck, but the Paladin has N'Zoth as a game ender.
Yeah, I imagine that Innate's going to save that Twisting Nether specifically for that reason. But
Yeah.
even then, I mean, you're looking at
Well, some
a lot
of
of
them,
Death Rattle bodies being
yeah,
left
the
behind.
Death Rattles.
Plus the Ashbringer Tyrion.
It's just a matter of if it's going to be enough to end the game. So far, we've seen a Tyrion, 2 heal bots.
Uh-oh.
There's a Harvest Golem.
Well, giddy up.
Move quickly.
It was the, well, I know I'm doing this attack.
That's my favorite one.
Got your eagle horn bow out. Starting to think, you're like, well, first of all,
Steady shot. Well, he's just going to go for Cthulhu.
yeah, I mean, he can always recycle it right after, and it's going to force out a clear. It's a 12/12.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, either clear or the Aldor Peacekeeper. And with the 9 health Drake on board, I imagine he's eyeing.
Almost got it.
I imagine he's eyeing that equality. Yeah, even going to protect as well. So Innate,
Yeah.
there's his first initial push. Oh.
Well, I think you clear first.
You think so? I don't know. Let's just leave 17 power on board. You got a Tyrion.
You could.
Yeah. 2 Cryptid Heal Bots, the limit.
You
Wow.
just Shadow Flames Cthulhu. Oh man, 2 Old Gods on 1 board?
I have never seen that. I haven't seen that happen yet.
Me neither.
I want to see the fight. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Duane's going to give it to us. And look
6
at that
Death
board.
Rattles.
Woo!
And important to note, he missed one of those heal bots. Harvest Golem taking up the room.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, so
The heal bots are kind of bad here.
I mean, this is going to be Shadow Flame.
Yeah. And
How much stuff's left over? I mean, your opponent gets a card, they get a 4/5 body, they get 2 2/1s, they get an
pretty crazy,
Ashbringer.
dude.
The Zoth is gone, though. I mean, that was
Both of the
Duane's,
Old Gods are gone.
that was Duane's
But one's
big play.
coming back.
Yeah. There's the Mortal Coil. I mean, this is cleaned up very nicely here as well. Did have option to attack into Bane and Mortal Coil as well.
Do you think Brand Doomcaller shuffles back 2 Cthuns?
It's got to.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it does.
I don't think it does.
I think it does.
It might. Oh, you know what is really powerful? Bran Emperor.
Yeah. Now the thing about it is, I think Innate would like to see a board clear before he invests that much.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an Emperor Thorson in this deck?
Maybe.
Because that would be
I mean, it's just a good card.
that would be the Brand Doomcaller enabler.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's got to stick Brand to the board. But suddenly, honestly, I don't think I favor Duane's position right now.
I don't need, like, I don't think he's played Sylvanas.
Nope.
So that's like his only high value card left. I mean, everything else is gone. And there's still a Reno, there's still double Emperor, there's still another Cthulhu.
We'll buy some time. This Doomsayer looks like.
Reporting for duty.
I mean, he's not going to die anytime soon. But he's lost a lot of resources.
I mean, yeah, I just don't see how he closes. I mean, unless he can bust through everything.
And Innate's going to stop the life taps. He said he's had enough of the draws. So look for him to continue to play this game slow and work off a more honest resource base.
Wow.
Hold him on to add pressure. I mean, this
Yeah,
is
just
kind of
adding pressure.
This is spelling some of the desperation, I think, from Duane's perspective.
Right. 6 cards left, so he's got 13 to work with and another Cthulhu. So 14 cards total for Innate. His cards are so high value.
Yeah, I mean, this is likely to force an equality right here.
Likely to.
It's pretty darn likely to force one. Oh my gosh. 3 Druid of the Claws in 1 turn.
He's not even Druid.
Warlock's the Druid now.
Yeah. There's the first one.
Easy turn.
A Twilight Summoner. Pretty good card. I mean, 5/5 essentially once it gets off.
Still a Reno Jackson back behind in Innate's hand, though.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
I mean,
can tell
I'd
Duane's
hold the
thinking
weapon.
about that. Yeah. It's tough, honestly, because you really want to get going, but if you run right into that Reno, you're going to
You know
regret
the
the
ooze
attack.
is gone,
Yep.
so I feel like you need to hold that weapon
Is this Hellfire Reno?
for the game ender. Hellfire's, how good is Hellfire here? I
Not
guess
very
you have
good.
to.
I mean, it pulls 2 power off the board.
It's still inefficient to trade into the Reno, so. Gosh, I can't wait for Doomcaller. The other thing is Duane really aware of Doomcaller being a thing?
I mean, the first time I played against this build, I was
Yeah,
not.
yeah. It took you literally talking to me about it for me to realize this was a real thing. You were like, yeah, I lost to Doomcaller Cthulhu as warrior, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you can't beat that.
No, I could not. It beat me really badly. Yeah, and from Innate's perspective, N'Zoth is dealt with, so Twisting Nether is just good value anytime he wants to take it. And Sylvanas and Defender of Argus here looks pretty good.
Even as Cult Apothecary, which is pretty valuable against Paladin.
It's a bunch of 1/1s they make.
And even more important, Duane has 3 cards left.
Yeah, and
So-
Innate's a headed fatigue race. He's got Doomcaller to add an extra card. He's still got life gain left.
He's got a Cthulhu left.
There's Ragnaros Light Lord.
I don't know, man. It seems like it's going to be very hard for Duane to end. Because the pressure's on him to end the game. Lay on Hands is dead. And his cards left just frankly aren't that aggressive. I think he has to like equality here. Just to get through the Reno.
Yeah, he agrees. Quality, attack the Reno, attack the Sylvanas.
Throw down Rag, yeah.
I mean, an 8/8 could be enough. That Ragnaros does attack.
Well, there is Twisting Nether at the very least.
I'm curious if Innate's even concerned about the healing on it, just the 8 power.
Yeah, it is a big swing in health. Deals 8 to your opponent the next turn. Heals you for 8 immediately.
I mean, it's gonna protect.
Yeah.
Whew, that's a big heal.
Yeah, it does have the Emperor.
on too.
Yeah.
So Brand Doomcaller.
Obviously. Already threw out that brand, but so unless he gets the brand collar to get it back.
I really don't mind Twisting Nether here.
I don't know if you need to do it this turn. Maybe you just throw out a 7/9.
I don't want to take 8. I mean, that feels like
And
one of the
it
ways,
heals him
yeah.
for 8.
This is. I feel like Ragnaros Light Lord is one of the ways you lose the game.
Twisting Nether is saving the 16-point swing.
Now, does Duane have a Ragnaros of his own? Is a big question too.
Like a real Ragnaros?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the N'Zoth Paladins
Have
running
both.
both Ragnaros.
I don't think he does.
He's got so many death rattles. I don't know where it fits.
I feel like there's
a second forbidden healing, maybe.
I think there's like A2 of we haven't seen probably.
Is he gonna play Sylvanas here? He's fearing removal.
I guess if you get Sylv down when the only card left is Cthulhu.
I mean, I think that's his win condition
Yeah, but the Cthulhu will kill him.
because of the fatigue.
Well, the Cthulhu will just do enough. Yeah.
Yeah, Emperor and Cthulhu's chosen.
I still don't think he knows Doomcaller is in the hand.
Yeah, I don't think he does
There's a
either.
chance it's not in the deck.
Last card is Loot Hoarder, and it's dead.
I feel like that's got to be it. Yeah, I mean, we know that's going to be it. There's no way that ragtag 5-card hand is enough to get there. You know, 1/1s are good in these kind of situations, but when your opponent's rocking their like 20/20 Cthulhu that kills them all,
It's not nearly as good at that point. And Innate's last card is going to be Cthulhu after this draw.
man, why doesn't N'Zoth have a bunch of cultists to help him out?
He does, they're just all death rattles.
No, there's none that brings him back.
Yeah, he's the one who brings them back.
No, like Doom.
That's like wishing for more wishes.
This is back, dude. Like you can't just have Doomcaller to bring your god back. They both died. I'm calling this a tie. Listen, it took the full strength of Cthulhu to kill N'Zoth.
Well, last card is Doomsayer.
Well, the end is coming.
Yeah, and it's coming in the shape of that Cthulhu, and you can see Duane just nods his head. I think, honestly, he might have even been kind of expecting this and just been like, yeah, he actually does have it. Like, last 4 cards, you're like, maybe? No, there it is.
Yeah.
Still
Well,
not entirely out of the water. I mean, stealing a 7/9, no, there's no
and
hope.
then Cthulhu kills
Yeah.
his own Doomcaller, betrays him.
It will be a 1-power Cthulhu, but that'll be enough, I think. Just a headed fatigue and with Cold Apothecary and
Yeah.
Mind Control attack.
Duty.
Now, there is a chance that Cthulhu misses. It's a very low chance, but still a chance. It could not kill the Doomcaller. That's a possibility. Connect for 7 that way.
I mean, I've heard of never lucky, but
Look, some chance is better than no chance. What if he just 50-50s it?
I was gonna say, what if he just Cthulhu's now?
Yeah, if he's looking for the Doomsayer pick off, and this is actually a really smart spot from Innate here.
That's game, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that Doomsayer is better at closing out this game than Cthulhu. just has absolutely nothing to do about that Doomsayer. I guess he could try and steal it to delay it a turn.
Well played game from Innate. Just a slow grind
Yeah.
for his Warlock. Cthulhu Warlock. That's the first victory we've seen from Cthulhu on the main stage.
That's
He's
the
been
first-
he's been doing it all
yeah.
tournament long.
That's the first Cthulhu we've seen, and let alone in a Warlock deck. I don't think we expected that, but
Yeah, I mean, knew it was a possibility, but just actually
I'd
see
seen
it in action.
on some streams, but I didn't really think we'd be seeing it in the top 8 of a
Yeah.
major.
Very tight play from him as well. I mean, just a slow grind
Yep.
until he gets that safe turn. I mean, made the use.
Didn't
of
feel like he
every
was in danger
resource. Yeah, it's
ever.
good play.
Yeah.
Strong play. So Warrior left for Innate versus the Warrior Shaman and Paladin for Duane. Duane's going to need 3 straight games
To
if he
stay
wants to
alive.
take. Yeah, and this would be a pretty big upset for Innate here too. You know, taking out Duane, who's got 15 Hearthstone Championship Tour points. I mean, 15 is enough for the spring preliminary,
Yeah.
which about 130 to 140 people qualify for that out of all of the Americas region. I mean, we're talking millions of people are playing Hearthstone. A handful of them qualify.
Yep.
Looking so strong. Looking forward to seeing what this Warrior deck is. What if he's building? What if he's bringing double Cthulhu?
Oh, yeah.
Cthulhu Warrior is a thing. I mean, Ancient Shield Bearer.
He's got, what if he's just bringing another old god? He had N'Zoth. He had
Yashar.
Cthulhu. Man, you should. That one's just kind of bad.
No, it's cool. It's like a 10-10.
No, man.
makes
He's
the
like
thing.
you're going out to hang with your friends.
What if he's got multiple old gods?
You know, it's like Cthulhu's like calls up N'Zoth, he calls up Yogg, and he's like, "Hey, you
It's
want to
a
go
Cthulhu!
out?" And then like they go out. He just asks Cthulhu. They go out, and Yashar's like, "Hey guys, can I come too?" You're like,
I guess.
"Yeah, come on." Like, he's that guy, dude.
Now I will say that hand is a little bit too heavy.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good matchup, but we saw how Cthulhu was able to beat N'Zoth. I gotta feel like his matchup can't be too bad later on.
I mean, it certainly can
And
be.
I'm so glad we got to see this.
This is great.
This is what I wanted to see all weekend.
The triple old god lineup.
I wanted triple Cthulhu at first, but
Welcome
I
to
can-
Standard.
I can respect N'Zoth.
Another 7-cost card joins the hand. That Ravaging Ghoul is going to have to work overtime.
Literally has to carry the game.
Still a few draws that Innate can pick up here. I mean, Disciple of Cthulhu still a pretty decent draw. Cthulhu's Chosen would be a good one too. Just anything to get on board and start making some headway.
Yeah, Brawl could help him stabilize going into the mid game. And I mean, if he could ever get to the Shield Bearer turn,
That's the first step right there. You know, staying alive is going to be the hard part. I mean,
Yeah.
Tunnel Trog, Lightning Bolt's looking awfully good.
like you said, Cthulhu's Chosen not awful.
And it's going to take this out, attack for 5, and coin the Tunnel Trog, it looks like.
I don't know if he's coining. Yeah,
Wow, very defensive play.
gonna coin Doomhammer maybe.
And now Innate with an option here. I mean, do you take
I-
this risk?
I like the Cthulhu's Chosen.
Yeah, same. I mean, Urshock isn't even really that effective versus it.
They're like roughly the same. Like the one, I feel like Cthulhu's Chosen has a better average result.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We'll be the Chosen.
Also, it does get that that buff in there, which is going to be important maybe to get to the Shield Bearer turn for the plus 10 armor.
I'm feeling like Doomsayer. Can
Goes
just
with
buy
the
some health.
non-golden one. Man,
Doomsayer could buy some health here, help him get through that turn.
Yeah.
6 maybe. Innate needs some action here. I mean, Execute would be a pretty decent pickup at this point.
War Axis. Very welcome. Do you kill the Totem Golem?
You know what?
I think I do.
I think you do.
Yeah.
This is going to 16 is such a
Your
dangerous
opponent's
life
on
total.
3 mana as
You
well.
can tell Innate looks a little bit nervous about this too. I mean, getting down to 16, this is sort of that danger territory.
Duane has to go Flame Tongue, Lightning Bolt if he wants to save it.
Yeah, well, I'm not saving a Flame Tongue, that's for sure. He's got 12 points of damage here too.
He's counting up.
Just a couple points off.
Well, no, he only has 10. Doesn't have mana.
Oh, you're right, the overload.
Yeah. So he's getting close. I like it. I like not saving it.
Innate needs to draw.
Oh, I completely forgot about the Finley. He actually threw away the chance of spell power totem,
Yeah.
so.
That Disciple of Cthulhu is very welcome right now because the extra 2 armor makes a big difference. And so the question for Innate here is 2 armor worth foregoing the 7/6? He gets the 7/6 into Ancient
He's
Shieldbearer.
punching, man.
Here we go. Duane
He's also just getting close, like,
on a
imagine
damage
the
draw to
7
close the game. That's not it.
Imagine the 7/6 connects. You play your 6/6, gain 10. Next turn, you're threatening lethal.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big swing that's about to happen. Duane needed a damage draw to close this game right now. I mean, gaining 10 is massive.
Yeah. I mean, he needs to put out minions, or else he's going to be under immense lethal pressure. He doesn't know that. I mean, right now he's just like, you have to expect that your opponent has Shield Bearer when they do
I mean,
that.
the Ancient Shield Bearer is the threat right now. And so Duane's trying to figure out how he stabilizes or gets any assault going versus that extra 10 health.
Yeah. Well, you have to know no removal's happening, so maybe you just throw your hand onto the board. 1 to face is pretty good here.
He's 1 damage off lethal.
Oh, is he killing it? Wow. Well, he does have 2 Doom Hammers.
Yeah, I mean,
He can live. You know, he does have a lot of pressure. Yeah, only going to 14. Yeah, I kind of like this.
oh, jeez.
Well, yeah, you gotta. Jeez.
That Ancient
That
Shield
changes
Bearer.
the game.
Yeah. I mean, he may even set. Oh, okay.
No, he was. Could have happened. Yeah.
I mean, so not out of the water just yet. I mean, still a little bit of a ways to go here.
Got a long way to go, man. He might just punch through.
I think he's going to, honestly.
I feel like that's a good pickup. Lets him kick off with the Disciple of Cthulhu.
Yeah, is going to have to run into that Totem Golem.
Oh, never mind. I thought the Totem Golem was at 3 health, so yeah, does have to trade.
So, up to 8. Duane's still on damage to win.
Yeah.
Rockbiter, Lava Burst.
Lava Burst wouldn't do it. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it
not
doesn't
going
because
to
of
do
the
it.
armor.
So it's just going to be Doomhammer, but
Oh my gosh, is Innate going to live at 1
look
here?
at it. He's like, okay.
Okay, if he draws a shield block, I don't know if shield block's in his deck, but if he draws a shield block from this Harrison Jones, it is really bad news for Duane.
Fury doesn't need it right now quite yet.
That belongs in a
6 cards getting picked up.
Oh my god, if he lives.
And there's a shield block.
Yeah, that's getting casted.
Yeah, up to 9. I mean, still not out of the water just yet, though. If Duane picks up another Lava Burst, this game will end.
Yeah, but that out just got narrowed by a lot. Oh no, and I mean, I think the window is closing right now.
I mean, every single step of the way that Duane does not make headway, he's falling out of favor.
It's not quite lethal on the other side of the board. He's actually 1 off because of the Disciple of Cthulhu and the Gore Howl. That's 19 damage.
If he doesn't Lava Burst this turn either,
Shield
the Flame
Slam.
Wreath basically just gets shield slammed. And that means
Yeah,
Duane is
that'd
on.
be lights out.
Yeah, and at 6, I don't know if he doesn't have a draw that deals 6 damage.
Oh, and that's
it.
That's game. Yeah.
There's
Twin
no
Emperor.
way that Duane's coming back from this. Both Doomhammer's gone. Twin Emperor hits the board. Flame Wreath Faceless bites the dust. Innate. I think he just closed this one out. 3 games to 0.
You know, sometimes the old gods, they just beat you.
Look at that. 3 to 0 with a triple old god lineup. Innate stays alive in the tournament. What a fantastic play. You can't take anything from Duane in this one, though. I mean, making top 8.